For the last decade, we've been sold a carefully curated mirage. Corporations peddled this connected utopia, promising that if every toaster, smart lock, and nanny cam was tethered to the cloud, life would become a frictionless, automated paradise. They framed this constant digital surveillance as the ultimate security feature. If your data is always traceable, well, then you're always safe, right? But here's the rub. We traded our physical independence for a digital tether that was never, not even for a second, built to be secure. Think of it like this. You've spent years fortifying your home. Heavy-duty deadbolts, double-glazed windows, solid oak doors. Then you invite a stranger into your living room because they promised they could save you from the arduous task of walking across the room to hit a light switch. You give them a key to your Wi-Fi router, which, incidentally, is the key to your whole internal network. You've essentially bypassed every physical security measure you ever owned and handed the keys to a black box algorithm you don't understand, built by a company that views your personal habits as a commodity to be sold. The industry calls this interoperability. In reality, it's just a massive unsecured attack surface. Most of these IoT devices are running on legacy firmware that hasn't seen a security patch since the day it left the assembly line. They aren't designed to be fortresses. They're designed to be cheap, connected, and compliant with the data-hungry mandates of their parent companies. When you connect a smart bulb to your network, you aren't just connecting a light. You're punching a hole in your firewall. You are allowing an unvetted device to sit inside your perimeter, constantly phoning home to servers hosted halfway across the world, potentially accessible to anyone with a modest understanding of how to query a search engine designed for unsecured devices. It's a bloody massive liability, and the industry knows it. They know the code is riddled with backdoors, default passwords, and unencrypted telemetry.
In the world of Wi-Fi, this is called a deauthentication frame. It is a management signal, a polite instruction built into the protocol that tells your device to pack its bags and leave the network. The kicker? This signal is unencrypted. It doesn't need a password. It doesn't even need to prove who it is. Your phone hears that command, assumes it came from the router, and immediately complies. It is the digital equivalent of a prankster walking into a library and whispering into everyone's ear that it is closing time. And everyone just, blindly trusts the voice of authority. When you use a $5 chip, you aren't hacking in the traditional sense. You are simply gaslighting the entire infrastructure of your home. You are telling your security cameras to stop recording, your smart locks to ignore commands, and your laptop to drop its connection. You become a digital ghost, just lingering in the signal. Most users assume that if they have a complex 16-character password, they are untouchable, right? But this design flaw ignores the password entirely. It is a fundamental oversight from back when we were still worried about dial-up modems, not the total surveillance of our private lives. It is brilliant in its simplicity, but frankly, it is terrifying in its execution. You might be wondering if your expensive, top-of-the-line router is immune to this. After all, you paid for the premium label and the promise of enterprise-grade security. But that is the cynical reality of Silicon Valley marketing. They sell you a shiny exterior, but they are still building on a foundation that was cracked 20 years ago. And the manufacturers, they know. They have known about this for years. But why fix a fundamental flaw when they can sell you a brand new, slightly faster model with the same inherited baggage? But here's the crazy part. The part that should actually keep you up at night.
This is the hidden cost of the Internet of Things, mate. We traded our privacy for a little bit of convenience. And now that the hardware is cheap and commodified, the security protocols, they've been left in the rearview mirror. It's like leaving your front door wide open because you trust your neighbors, only to realize your neighbors are actually data brokers and packet sniffers. We're heading for a future where your ghost status, being invisible, is the only armor you have left. The network isn't watching over you. It's just waiting to be unplugged. And when the connection drops, you have to ask yourself, are you really in control of your digital life? Or are you just a spectator in your own home? The infrastructure was fragile, and the exploitation is dirt cheap. And the silence that follows, it's the loudest warning you'll ever get. So here is the question you need to sit with tonight. Is the convenience of a smart life actually worth the price of your digital autonomy? Or is the only way to win this game to just stop playing altogether? If you've ever felt like your tech was acting a bit off, or if you're just tired of the illusion of security, drop a comment below. Let me know how you plan on locking down your digital footprint. Stay cynical and keep your connections tight.
You're sitting in a lecture hall. One click on a $5 board, and every laptop goes dark. Every smart camera freezes. You simply vanish from the network. This isn't some Hollywood thriller, mate. It's a terrifyingly real look at how fragile our hyper-connected reality actually is. I'm pulling back the curtain on why your smart home is essentially a giant broadcast beacon for anyone with a tenor and a dream. We're obsessed with connectivity, aren't we? We want the lights, the locks, the bloody coffee makers talking to the cloud. But look, every time you add a device to your Wi-Fi, you aren't just gaining convenience. You're punching a massive hole in your own digital perimeter. Let's talk about the ESP8266. It's a microcontroller. It costs less than a decent cup of coffee in London. To the average person, it's just scrap. A green board with a few silver pins. But in the hands of someone who understands the 802.11 protocol, it's a scalpel. It's designed to dissect your private life. Think of it this way. Your Wi-Fi router is like a busy town square. Every device in your house is basically shouting, I am here. I am this phone. I am waiting for instructions. It's a polite, orderly conversation. But what this 5-power board does, it walks into that town square, throws 1,000 flashbangs, and starts screaming over everyone else. It exploits a design flaw in how Wi-Fi management frames work. It lies to your devices. It tells them the router is dead, forcing them to drop the connection. It's called a deauthentication attack. And the most chilling part? It's not a bug. It's a feature. These protocols were built decades ago, back when the idea of a malicious actor in every neighborhood was simply